Rich Smith. I'm the sheriff of Custer County, Colorado, and I'm grieved that our community today has experienced gun violence resulting in the loss of our citizens. We got a call yesterday at 12:59 to our 911 center that there had been a shooting at 173 Rocky Ridge Road. That was aired over the radio to deputies at 1:01 p.m. And as the deputies were responding, the dispatchers continued to get information from one of the victims who had been shot, as well as another victim who was not shot but had been able to run to safety. It took us 22 minutes to arrive at the scene. It's kind of a remote area in the county. Two members of the sheriff's office, along with the coroner and a deputy coroner, were the first arriving responders, and they made a high-risk entry to the crime scene. They didn't know where the shooter was, but they knew there was a possibility of a survivor, and they'd actually found one person that was a survivor. That person was transported to a ambulance and then later flown to Colorado Springs to what's a level 1 trauma center where you can get advanced care. Right after that, we did something called an Everbridge alert, and that calls people's cell phones, landlines, sends text messages or emails to let them know that there was a shelter-in-place area order in place for a 2-mile radius around this Rocky Ridge address. As a backup, we also sent a message over a system called iPause, which runs off the nearest cell phone tower, and that's not very accurate. And so that sent messages well outside of the initial 2-mile zone and caused additional kind of panic in different areas of the community that got the message in error. We requested a SWAT team from the Fremont County Sheriff along with his crisis negotiators. We had 4 state troopers and a Colorado Division of Wildlife officer respond, and then we called all 8 of our off-duty deputies to respond. We also had a CBI respond, so while we were working the scene, CBI agents were here helping our detective draft search warrants, and the CBI also had off-site analytical support. We conducted a thorough search for the area around 173 Rocky Ridge Road, and that's a very rural area of the county. The shooting happened in a wooded area along a gravel road, and there was a lot of structures in the area that needed to be searched, and we couldn't have done it without the Fremont County Sheriff SWAT team. We were aided by night vision, thermal imaging, and drones, as well as an extensive foot search. We searched structures on nearby properties, and we also responded to nearby residents that were concerned and wanted us to check their property as well. And we were able to give a definitive all clear at 8 p.m. and we again used that Everbridge system to get the word out. Prior to the ground search being completed, we obtained digital evidence that the suspect's white pickup truck had been located in nearby Chaffee County. We now believe that he left his home in the truck prior to our arrival, which is certainly possible. Nevertheless, we continued the ground search as planned to ensure the safety for the community. We couldn't just leave and hope that that was his pickup. Last night, we requested assistance from the U.S. Marshals for the apprehension of the fugitive, and I signed an official delegation of apprehension authority to the U.S. Marshals, and they were actually working here in a command post shortly before your arrival. They got a hot tip and then left to run that tip down. CBI, along with our own internal evidence technician, the coroner, Brad Baltzy, and the deputy coroner are processing the crime scene, and we just couldn't do it last night. It's a very big, it's a wooded area, it's tough to find the evidence. We don't want to do it in the dark. So we had 6 posse members guard that area last night to ensure that it wasn't tampered with, and then they're doing that processing right now. The Custer County coroner will be making the formal identification of the identity of the deceased. We have a preliminary from yesterday, but the formal notification will come from Coroner Brad Baltzy, and that'll happen today. The coroner is also going to transport the remains from our crime scene to the El Paso County coroner for a required. Have responded to Sorry. Do you guys have any questions?
What's bringing up all these emotions?
Just violence in our community, and we We have 3 people that dead, 1 person seriously injured.
Yes, last night you had said that it's believed at least one suspect had disputes with, or the suspect had disputes
Yes.
with one victim in the past. Is there any new information if he knew these other 3 victims or 4 victims?
All of the deceased are involved with a property dispute involving the suspect.
So is it one family or multiple different?
Multiple families are affected.
What is that property dispute over?
Property lines, and there's a legal process called an easement, and so some of the neighbors have a legal easement to drive through the suspect's property, and that's recorded at planning and zoning. They've been through court numerous times with lawyers and things, and that, as of today, the easement stands as the subdivision was originally created many years ago.
Does the guy live here?
Yes.
He does. Okay. And then, I just correct me if I'm wrong. I was listening to you and trying to take notes, but his car was found in Chaffee County, but not him.
We tracked his vehicle using digital evidence to Chaffee County, and we're absolutely certain that he was in that location as well.
Do you know where he is now?
We have a really good tip to follow on that. This morning, Denver Police Department sent a helicopter, and they overflew this area all the way out to Chaffee County, and then the U.S. Marshals have had numerous air resources that are in this area also looking for the suspect. And we have been in contact with the suspect's associates and family members, and they tell us that they hope that he will be willing to turn himself in so that this can be peacefully resolved. And I would ask them, if you're in contact with the suspect, to tell them that we're willing to negotiate a peaceful surrender for him to be able to come into custody.
Is he expected to be with anyone, or is he by himself?
I don't have information for you at this time on that.
Given the fact that this occurred regarding some ongoing property dispute, are there concerns that the suspect is potentially dangerous to others or would be interested in committing violence on others?
I'm sorry, I don't know that.
You know, have you ever had something like this before? A property dispute?
We have them almost every day. And there's many subdivisions in Custer County, and the county actually started in 1876, right after the Civil War, and the lines aren't as formal as they would be in the big city, and so there's a lot of this has to be straightened out in the civil courts to figure out where the property lines are and who has these easements. There's a legal principle in Colorado called adverse possession, and so if you've had access to land for a certain period of time, that can become a legal right later for you. And it's all handled in the civil courts, and we have deputies go to those calls every day. We've been to this suspect's house several times.
So you're very familiar with the case and the situation between these parties?
Yes.
Did you ever think it would lead to?
Absolutely no indication that it would lead to this.
How long has this been going on, this dispute?
I don't know that's something I'd have to research. I don't know how many years he's owned the property, but some of the surrounding neighbors have been there for multiple decades.
You said the dispute was an easement he used to get to his property?
No, it's actually an easement the neighbors use to go across his property. So there's a kind of an informal gravel road, and that's a source of irritation for him.
Had people in that area complained about that suspect before? Had you dealt with that suspect being on that property?
Yes, so the suspect has complained about the neighbors, and the neighbors have complained about the suspect. Yes.
Given that there was thankfully one person who seems like they were targeted but not injured, have they been able to give any more information on the case that you can share with us? That's exactly what transpired.
There was a witness to the shooting who was in danger but was able to run to safety, and then he provided very good information for us that was useful in this investigation. But he's traumatized too, you know. So
The court documents surrounding everything that they've had, that property disputes, we've gone through those documents, and a lot of them are claiming prejudice against the Native American community because some of these members are part of that community. Is that part of your guys' investigation?
that has been brought to our attention, and I don't think it had any relevance on yesterday's events.
So if this suspect were on his own property and fired a weapon on his own property.
He was not.
He was not on his own property.
Correct.
He was on someone else's property.
Right.
So he was, okay.
He was on the victim's property.
If he were on his own property and fired the weapon, is he protected by law?
I don't know. I don't want to do hypotheticals, but we're investigating this situation, and he's a suspect. We have a warrant for his arrest for 3 counts of first-degree murder.
What else would you want? You know, the community Thanksgiving week You know?
It is, and this is a peaceful place. That's one of the reasons I look out and I see a number of residents here, and that's why we moved here. Is it's a peaceful, quiet area to live, and so I'm very grieved that these people are not going to be able to celebrate Thanksgiving this year.
Do you know any of them personally? It's a small
I don't want to comment on that right now.
With the alerts, what was the decision to do the 2 mile radius?
So that was just a judgment call of how far we thought he would get on foot, and we just wanted to put that area in a lockdown while we were able to do an extensive ground search.
And correct me if I'm wrong, those are alerts you have to sign up for.
Yes, so our dispatch services are actually run out of Fremont County 911, and the system that they use there is called Everbridge, and so you can go to our county website and click a link and opt in to sign your cell phone, landline, text message, email, whatever way you want to get alerted. And if you don't, if we've had some people in the community that are kind of resisting technology, so we have postcards they can fill out, and then we'll enter the data for them too. But if you don't opt into the Everbridge, you will not get the alerts, and that's the reason we sent out that wider blast iPause thing that was just not very accurate yesterday.
Thank
Yes.
So in your report last night, you discussed that the suspect had been seen entering and then leaving a Walmart in Salida and possibly en route to another location. Do we have any understanding as to what their motives might be at this time?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I wish I could tell you. We've worked very closely with the Chaffee County Sheriff as well, and this suspect, the business name is Herbal Gardens, which I'm sure you already know, and it was previously operating in a different county, and that sheriff has been very proactive in getting us information about their past dealings. Thank you. Any last questions? Well, thank you guys for coming.
How do you think? I mean, there's a lot of boots on the ground right now. How do you think that the team is handling this type of massive situation? You've got news crews from Denver coming here to interview you.
Yeah, that's certainly unusual for our area, but I'm very proud of the team of deputies we have here. Again, we have 8 full-time deputies and 2 sergeants, and then we're supplemented by a team of volunteer posse members, and we relied heavily on all of those people last night. Even the off-duty ones came in, and we sent them home after midnight. They wanted to come back and work again today.
What's bringing up these emotions?
I don't know, I'm just proud of the guys.
Did having so many boots on the ground take away from other services that you guys provide?
No, we still maintained our minimum law enforcement with 1 guy last night.
What is the herbal garden situation, just for folks at home that don't know?
I don't know. They have a website you can look at that stuff up on.
This guy was seen at this,
I believe he's in the ownership structure of that business.
and where is it located?
Currently, it's located at the address where the shooting happened. So thank you guys very much for your time. Appreciate it. We'll do another press briefing.